Hey guys, today we're going to be making hot ice. Here are the materials that are going to be required for the experiment. You're going to need a measuring cup, preferably that can measure up to 4 cups, 1 tablespoon, measure, baking soda, distilled white vinegar, a big pot, and a final product dish. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is get the vinegar inside the pot. But in order to get an accurate measurement, I'm going to be using this measuring cup that has measured up to 4 cups or 1 liter. So, I'm going to unscrew the bottle. Measure out 4 cups. And I'm going to put it inside the pot. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to carefully add 1 tablespoon of baking soda at a time so that it doesn't spill out everywhere and cause a gigantic mess. I'm going to be adding 4 tablespoons of baking soda. There's 1. I'll let it settle down for a second. Okay, so now that all the 4 tablespoons of the baking soda have been dissolved into the vinegar, we need to put this on the stove, the solution, and we need to get it to a boil and boil about 70% of the liquid in here, so we have just a little bit remaining, and then some sodium acetate crystals will form on the outside of the pot. So now we're going to turn the stove on. We're going to let this sit here until it starts to boil and about 70% of this liquid has gone away. Okay, so the solution is just now starting to boil, and you can already see some sodium acetate crystals forming on the inside ring of the pot. As you can see, the boiling is almost complete, and we also have a really good crystal buildup around the edges. So now that the boiling is complete, we're going to be getting this pot and we're going to be pouring it into one of the dishes. Now, get this. We're going to set this in the fridge. This is going to be difficult. Now we're going to let that cool until it gets about room temperature or below, just so it's below the boiling temperature of the solution. Okay, so now, while we're waiting for the solution to cool down, we're going to go ahead and get a plastic spoon of some sort, and we're going to scrape all the sodium acetate crystals that built up on the side, and we're going to set them in a nearby dish while we scrape it out. So this is about how much crystal you will need for the reaction to take place. Again, this is sodium acetate buildup from the pot when we boiled the solution of vinegar and baking soda. This is the result after we touched the crystals, which is the sodium acetate, to the solution that consisted of baking soda and vinegar boiled down into a concentrate. And while the reaction was happening, you can see like my fingertips. We touched it and we could feel that it's pretty warm. So, yeah. In conclusion, this lab ended up turning out to be successful. The hot ice looks a little orangish, probably because the baking soda is old or we cooked the solution too hot in the stove. And we have about 100% hot ice formed, so I would say that this is a 0% error.